Don't really know how I should start this kind of video. It's the first time, as far as I'm concerned, that I publish on this channel such a tribute or homage video. So yeah, here I am adding my, homage to the long list of people who already commented on their, Twitter, Facebook account, whatever. Yesterday was a happy day here in Quebec, since it's for those who don't know about 24th of June, la fête de la Saint-Jean-Baptiste, very important day for us here in Quebec. But it was also a very sad day, since we have lost one of our greatest artists, Québécois, who were such in love with the Quebec, its culture, Mr. Serge Fiori, as you probably have heard. We were like several personality or VC friends, from the vinyl community, who made mention. I know Scott, Pro Corner, he posted something on his channel. I did as well. So yeah, it's, as I said, it's very sad, because within 3 days we've heard about Harmonium. Serge Fiori was a founding member of the band Harmonium. So we've heard, as I said, first time before the Saint-Jean, the day before, since our local newspaper, they made a ranking of the best Québécois bands, whatever. So yeah, they made mention of Harmonium. I think they were ranked at the 3rd position, And yeah, sadly, the day after, the big party, here in Quebec, once again, but for the sad reason, Mr. Serge Fiori left us at the age of 73, So yeah, what a life he had. As I said, he was very important over here in Quebec. It's truly one of the band I grew up with, Harmonium. So it's not a long career. It's not thousands of albums. It's 3 albums. 74, 75, 76, and then, they went. Its member, they went in different directions. But this is truly one of the band I grew up with. And yet, to be honest, you may know me as a prog nerd, as a progressive guy on the VC, as a French dude who talks about prog rock. But let's put it like this: it's not a genre that I've been delving into for forever. It's only maybe a couple of years. But Harmonium is a band I grew up with because of this album and of this copy. This one, a record my father had bought in France. Many reasons why. Firstly, because his cousin, from Ontario, I think they paid him a visit back then, and and one of his cousins said to my father, or told my father, hey, you should buy this stuff. This is like really huge in Canada for the time being. So that reason my father bought this copy, and we really liked that album. I remember when he played, not every Sunday morning, but he played this record, and I was like, captivated by this pastoral flute folk. So something like very different from the stuff I was into when I was 14, 12 years old, but I still remember. And yeah, it's a French press, obviously. He bought this, I think, in Mulhouse. Still have the price, 77, 43 francs in Fnac, Mulhouse. So Fnac is like Barnes and Nobles, in France. More or less, like HMV maybe in UK. So he bought this at the Fnac that the French people knows about, Fnac. And yeah, he was very important. Harmonium, one of the very first rock band that has like such a success, which allowed them back then to tour with Supertramp. You know, this is one of the reasons we found, and lots of French people they know about this band because you can find this copy pretty much easily, even now, even today. You know, when you go to like record fair, record show, you know, in France, you find this copy pretty much easily. You know, it's not something rare. It's a Quebecois band that has such an aura at a period of time. And I don't talk about politics on my channel usually, but we cannot deny the fact that there was something about political back then, you know, 74, 75, 76. And this is something when you read or when you hear interviews of Serge Fiori or other members of Harmonium, this is what they said. You know, at that time, Quebec. I think they were powerful in Quebec because people wanted or needed their hero, you know, to show the way in a way. No pun intended, of course, but. And it stopped. Suddenly, it stopped. You know, 1980, it stopped because, okay, I don't talk much about politics, but for those who remember 1980 Quebec, Prague was in that, you know, trend, the early 90s, and Serge Fiori was so much of an importance, you know, almost like a guru, and it was maybe something too much for him. So. He decided to study, you know, in California, and it's interesting because they were I think as important for the people in Quebec as for the politicians. They were truly ambassadors. I remember I watched recently a documentary and showing Harmonium touring in California, you know, in the late 70s, because Quebec wanted to export, you know, their culture, and they tried really hard, and they sent a bunch of people, companies, artists, and bands like Harmonium in California. So they were like touring in the late 70s, and it was like really fun to see shy Serge Fiori trying to respond to interview in English. So yeah, they were really important. The Prague rock scene was like really booming, as I often mention on this channel, here in Quebec. Which is funny when you think about that, since, you know, bands like Yes or Genesis, they had success over here. And even though they were British bands or English bands singing in English, those bands who were performing their art in French, trying to, you know, to move away from the English, you know, mammies. I don't have the French, the English word, you know. They made something really interesting. So we now remember Harmonium when we talk about this kind of. Okay, I do talk on my channel about other bands, you know, they were like much important over here when we talk about the progressive rock scene here in Montreal. But today's video is dedicated to Serge Fiori. So yeah, second album turned 50 years a couple of months ago. Beautiful album. Moving away from the folk, as they were a folk trio at the beginning. Yeah, it's something really different really different. Still interesting. This is their debut album, which is folk but pop. Started as a trio. It all started like very fast. They had this massive success at the Saint-Jean Festival in '73. So helped to secure them a record deal for 2 albums with a song that resonates in my mind. Un musicien parmi tant d'autres, the last track on the album. It's simply beautiful. This one a little bit had more instruments. We had Serge with his synthesizer, who had bought the synthesizer directly from the UK. I think the legend said he had received a Mellotron on the port of Montreal, and the same day he recorded this album. We had flute. We had it's very beautiful. It's only 3 albums, so it's a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer, and the last 3rd album, a very ambitious album recorded with some member of the Montreal Symphony Orchestra. As a topic, 7 levels of consciousness, visited through the topic of a typical day. Yeah, so very ambitious, I say. Inspired melody, lots of arrangement, acoustic moment, epic moment climaxes, with the voice of Serge Fiori. Simply beautiful. A double album. A great one. Recently, I think they made a show, or was re-recorded, or not really following, all this DVD, all this stuff, but you can find this pretty much easily. I think even on Netflix, you can 3 albums, and after that, was like too much. Was seen as a guru. Almost everyone wanted to. There is this scene, when you remember when Forrest Gump, when he was like running, and everyone was like running after, asking for advice. I had the same image in my head when I think about those years when people like sleeping in his backyard, trying to get some words from him, because and this was like really too much. So at a later stage of his life, he moved a little bit further from the Montreal greater area. This is another beautiful album, collaboration with Richard Séguin. So much more rock, much more dark, this one. No, the folk pastoral definitely vanished, but also interesting. Yeah, 200 nuits à l'heure, really interesting. Yep, I'm really sad. We have lost someone, whose music will luckily stay with us. Thank you.